This will demonstrate how to check a T5 main shaft for straightness. All T5 main shafts eventually will end up with a bent main shaft due to the small weak area around the speedometer gear area. This is a quick little jig you can build at home to check for your main shaft for straightness. This one here is just made out of plain 2x4s with shelving brackets as reinforcement for the 90 degrees there at the corners. Approximately 2 to 3 inches down, I've drilled a hole, and then on one end I just drilled a partial hole where I was able to stick a rod that is beveled, and on the other end of the jig here I drilled a hole all the way through that I just placed a small piece of threaded rod that I could screw down onto the left or to the centers of the main shaft itself. So when I'm screwing down onto the main shaft centers, this is the part that we're screwing into, that little portion there. There's one on the splined end where the yoke slides into, and then there's one on the main shaft inside that goes into the input shaft, which is on this end here. Also, this portion of the main shaft you should always inspect for wear also. They'll start to gall out and chip, and once they start to do that, they'll gall down and then eventually destroy the transmission. So if yours has any severe pitting in it or starting to gall and it's not shiny like the rest of the journals here, you need to go ahead and think about replacing it either like through Rose Hill Performance Parts for one. We can send you a remanufactured main shaft that would be checked already for straightness and is machined properly for this. We have a small bracket that's also screwed to the back of our jig right here in this metal, so our magnetic dial indicator base will stick to it. Now all we've done is we've set up the jig, we've got the main shaft in there, we've tightened down our ends. So now we can spin the main shaft, and she's spinning on the center of how the main shaft was ground here. So now we've set up this main shaft here, we've put the dial indicator in on the speedometer boss right here, and then we've brought it up, we've made a couple of revolutions until we got it down to 0. And then we have 0 right there, we'll double indicate right there, we're starting at 0, and then we're going to slowly spin the shaft, and we can see that this shaft here is bent really bad. It's 34 thousandths out of round. So it's got a 34 thousandths bend in it. And this bend here is actually visible with the naked eye. Now, Trimic indicates that you should replace the main shaft if it's 7 thousandths out of round. Some vehicles will run fine up to 10 thousandths out of round. If we get over 10 thousandths, I really recommend to the individual to replace the main shaft on your T5. That will conclude this video.